We step up in the club with one thing. On our mind is live with something. Get rid of those rings, get rid of those cuffs. We're about to, we're about to, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Lots popping off, man. Lots popping off again. We've got Nicolas Jackson news. We've also got a here we go for George Petrovic. He's off to Bournemouth, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about that in detail. I wish you got an opportunity at Chelsea, but look, we're picking up the cash. We're picking up money wherever we go. We're collecting. We're the debt collectors. Do you know what I mean? Picking up 52 million for Noni Madueke, well, 48 confirmed price and 4 million in add-ons. And now we're picking up approximately 25 million. Yep, 25 million for Petrovic. So we're going to make money, man. We're making money in the Club World Cup. We're making money through player sales. We've got a lot of players to still to sell. And we're going to raise a lot of funds, man. So we're not worried, man. Hopefully this transfer window is starting to look really, really good. We've got some news in regards to Romeo Lavia as well. Some update. Looks like he's not available, most likely for the final. We need to really talk about this and some latest updates in regards to Madueke as well. Now, we're going to kick things off with Nicolas Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Nicolas Jackson, this is what Fabrizio Romano tweeted earlier today. Nicolas Jackson has chances to leave Chelsea this summer. After Noni Madueke to Arsenal, he could be the next one to try a new chapter elsewhere. AC Milan asked for Jackson, but Chelsea asking price is still too high. Premier League clubs are also keen and informed. But we also had just a moment ago from Kieran saying Chelsea view Nicolas Jackson as potential 100 million striker and aren't actively looking to sell. Chelsea want to keep Jackson and Delap as number 9s and use João Pedro across the attack. Now, yes, hypothetically, that makes sense. You got Delap as the number 9 and you've also got Nicolas Jackson as the number 9. You use João Pedro in rotation, but is Jackson willing to be the second fiddle? Because he's not the starting striker anymore. It would have been a different case if he was the starting striker and Delap was the backup and João Pedro fills in wherever it needs to. I think at the moment, João Pedro is probably going to start up front. So there's going to be question mark in regards to Nicolas Jackson's minutes at Chelsea Football Club. And it's not a crazy assessment to make. A player like Nicolas Jackson, who's been Chelsea's number 1 for the past couple of seasons, he doesn't want to be relegated to second or third option now. So this whole scenario of Nicolas Jackson perhaps wanting to start a new chapter, it's not too far-fetched. It is not too far-fetched. Now, whether it's AC Milan, whether it's another Premier League club, Arsenal, I'm looking at you again. My man, I'm looking at you again. Arsenal, you never know. Arteta could just one day wake up and go, do you know what? Screw Gyökeres. I think Nicolas Jackson is the right guy. It could potentially happen. They love our players. They love, and players that haven't really worked out at the end, they love it. They think they can revitalize them. They think they have this picture that they can mold them into something, astronomical, which it never happens. It never did, and it never will. Nicolas Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, look, 100 million striker. Yeah, I don't know about that, but he's definitely worth a lot. You see all of these players that are going for 52, 55, 60. He's at a minimum, and I said this in my previous video, I think as a striker, there's still quite a lot of qualities that he has. I've never shied away from saying that. There's good qualities that Nicolas Jackson has. Yes, up front, the clinicality, it lacks. Is that going to get better down the track? Probably not. We've seen enough. I don't think he's going to get any better, but there is quality about him. I'd say, look, 100 million, obviously too much. Anywhere between like 60 to 65, 60 to 70 million, I think you've got yourself a deal. And, we bought him for about 30 million. Which is incredible business. So, look, I think this is the right time, both for Madueke and Nicolas Jackson to leave. I've said that multiple times. We're at a position where we're cashing in at the peak time for both of these players. This is where we're going to make the most money. I think from here on, it's going to be a decline. If Chelsea are looking to get rid of Nicolas Jackson, it must be this window. It must be. So I get it. Fabrizio Romano talking about he could potentially try a new chapter. We've got another Chelsea journalist coming out and saying, look, we're not actively trying to let him go. We see him as a 100 million player. It's all a PR tactics going on at the moment. We just want to make sure the right club comes in and pays the right amount for Nicolas Jackson, and we can part ways, and then we can go into the market and look to upgrade. I've got no problems about that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to Nicolas Jackson. Next up, George Petrovic to Bournemouth. Here we go. After official bid revealed this week for 25 million, Chelsea accept all final conditions. Petrovic will undergo medical. Bournemouth always been favourite while Petrovic signs long-term deal. Look, good luck to him. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out at Chelsea. Like, it's crazy. You know, we've got keepers like Sanchez and Jurgensen being the 1 and 2, and someone like Petrovic, who's had a stellar season at Strasbourg, doesn't seem to get a go. If we weren't going to buy a new keeper, it would have been really nice to give Petrovic an opportunity. But it looks like Chelsea think much highly of Robert Sanchez as opposed to Petrovic. I think it was a predetermined decision. I think Chelsea from the get-go didn't rate Petrovic as highly as they do with Robert Sanchez, which I find it quite baffling. But look, nonetheless, 25 million in the bag. I don't recall how much we bought him for. Maybe 15 million. So maybe we've made some profit here as well for Petrovic. 25 million. He could blow up to be a very, very good goalkeeper for Bournemouth. We shall see how he goes. But another 25 million in the kitty. 52 million, well, let's say 48 million for Noni Madueke, 25 for Petrovic, and we're already making a lot of money in Club World Cup. We're going to sell a hell of a lot of other players. Kepa we've sold for 5 million, and we're going to continue to sell a lot more. We could potentially earn bucket loads of money in this transfer window. And we're looking to bolster. We're looking to definitely bolster. And look, this whole strategy, this is a revenue stream. Buying and selling, it's a stock market. Chelsea Football Club is 100% a stock market. Finding opportunities, displaying them out on loans, raising their value, and then selling them on for profit. Yeah, look, at first, a lot of us didn't understand it because the focus really should have been with the first team, but the first team now is starting to click, and all of these things, it can be appreciated now. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Maresca confirmed. So the press conference is out. We're going to do a separate video totally on that down the track, but I just wanted to touch base on this. Maresca confirms Noni Madueke to join Arsenal. If a player wants to leave, then in the end, it is difficult for the club and the manager. And yes, Noni decided to leave. No one said to Noni he has to leave. It was his own decision. If he's happy, we are happy. Look, Noni Madueke has made a smart decision. He's looked at the situation at Chelsea Football Club, and he's seen that his time at Chelsea, the minutes he's going to get is slowly evaporating. So, we've got Gittins come in, we've got Esteval come in, we've also got João Pedro. He's sort of summed up the situation that, look, I'm not going to get enough game time. World Cup coming up. I need to represent England in the World Cup, and I need to go somewhere where I can play regularly. And look, all these Arsenal fans that think that he's going to be a backup, yeah, Martinelli is going to be a backup now. He's definitely starting on that left side, which is not his best side. So, let's see what goes on with Madueke, but he's the one who wanted to leave. He didn't want to be an option, a rotational option at Chelsea Football Club. Arsenal and Chelsea have now completed documents exchange for Noni Madueke deal. Agreement sealed. Madueke will undergo his medical over the weekend and then sign a 5-year deal at Arsenal. 52 million deal done, as exclusively revealed yesterday. Noni Madueke is flying back to UK today and will leave Chelsea USA camp. Permission given to undergo medical at Arsenal. So he's not going to participate in the final. It is done and dusted with Noni Madueke. It's over. Look, if we still go on and win the Club World Cup, which I hope we do, which I believe we will, he's still going to end up, participating in some form, obviously, and he's going to get a medal, I'm pretty sure. So he's going to leave as a world champion. Hopefully that's what ends up happening for Chelsea. So, it's interesting what our options are going to be for the final. I think probably going to try George, and we're probably going to try yeah, some other players, obviously Nicolas Jackson's available. Dilap's obviously available as well. Pedro. So there's things that we can definitely work on for the final. I think we've got enough attacking options as opposed to just waiting for Noni Madueke. I think it's right that he leaves now. His mind is completely with Arsenal. He's got the medical happening. There's no need for him to jeopardize his health in the final. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. This news is mind-blowing for me, and it makes me think, Sancho, what the hell are you even thinking? Chelsea went to Sancho and said, we are prepared to match our salary contribution, so part of the salary we were paying. We were prepared to match our salary contribution we made on the loan deal to sign you permanently. This was around 180,000 to 200,000 a week. Sancho rejected. I mean, 180,000 to 200,000 is beyond some of the stuff that we pay for our current players. Not talking about all the other players that got the contracts prior to our directors and the new policy of 150,000 kicked in. I'm talking about the ones that happened in recent times, which is the restriction of at 150,000 wages. We were paying Sancho above that. We were paying Sancho 180,000 to 200,000, and that wasn't enough for Sancho. Sancho, what is enough? I know you're on some stellar wages at Man United, but you need to humble yourself. Your stocks have disappeared. Who's going to pay that level of money? Or do you just want to wind down your contract with Man United, regardless of where you play? 180,000 to 200,000. Sancho would have been a nice option for Chelsea. He was starting to look all right by the end of the season. And you just thought that perhaps if he accepts the 180,000 to 200,000, would have been a 25 million release clause, and you can continue at Chelsea. We're in the Club World Cup final. We're going to be competing in the Champions League. We're going to be competing in the Premier League, but all of this is not good enough. So good riddance. Find your home somewhere else. You're not going to find any Premier League club that's even willing to pay you this level of money. I don't know where else you're going to find this opportunity across the world. Maybe Saudis. But is that where you want to go? I don't know. Sancho, look, I think this guy has really ruined his career. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, after Petrovic sold to Bournemouth, Chelsea will proceed with Mike Pender's loan after Club World Cup. Understand loan to Strasbourg Concrete and most advanced solution with Blueco site seen as ideal solution. Chelsea believe Penders will be future top goalkeeper. Look, I don't mind this. If he doesn't get enough game time at Chelsea, no point in keeping him. And if Jorgensen is not keen to leave on loan, Mike Penders, that Strasbourg goalkeeping position is open. Go there, do your bits. Under Liam Rossiner over there, Strasbourg, I believe, are also going to be in the Conference League. Showcase your talent, improve your ball playing ability as well, and your shot stopping, which is your main attribute. But really improve as a goalkeeper, and then we'll see what happens next season. Maybe you come back and maybe you become the number one goalkeeper at Chelsea Football Club. So I don't mind that one bit. Moses Caicedo is in full training. Fantastic news. Obviously, we're going to do the match preview of that tomorrow. But great to see that Moses Caicedo is in full training. Lovely. Needed him. He is an important factor. If he's available in the final, which looks like he should be, yeah, we're ready to combat that PSG midfield. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, no Romeo Lavia in training. This, I have to say, look, when Romeo Lavia misses the games in the Premier League or domestic cups, that's one thing. But not to be available in key games like the Club World Cup final. Yeah, this is where I need to start thinking, well, what is the future of Romeo Lavia? If he's not even going to be available for us in key matches, this game we needed Lavia. And I know, look, it's fine. We're going to hopefully try Andre Santos. I don't know how Enzo Maresca is going to shape up, but you'd think you'd want to have extra midfielders knowing that PSG's midfield is unbelievable. Noni Lavia. Romeo Lavia, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we need to discuss deeply. What do we want from this player? Is one game a week good enough? And he can't even make one game a week, seems like. He didn't play against um, Palmeiras. He didn't play against Fluminense, and now he's not going to be available for the final. He's not shown up in training for the past 2 days. You just can't have him all of a sudden show up tomorrow in training and then be in contention for the Club World Cup final. You need to build up, and now it's been more than a week that he hasn't played. Look, I know he's trying his level best, and it's not his fault that he keeps getting injured, but the body doesn't seem to, stay with him. He's regularly away from football. He's regularly injured. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Look, we continue with him this season, but if this trend continues into the new season as well, I think next season we need to probably sit down and contemplate, well, what do we do with Romeo Lavia? It's not really contributing. This was a key match, man. Needed Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, and Caicedo all playing together and all ready to rock and roll. But that's not going to be the case. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to Nicolas Jackson earlier on. What are your thoughts? Let him go, not let him go. Is it the right time to let him go? Let me know. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya.